Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel. This is a hunting channel, survival channel, radio channel, which deals with survival, gardening channel. Today, we're going to be talking Havahart traps, specifically squirrel traps. Not anything really smaller or bigger for raccoons or rats or anything. But anyway, squirrel traps. Hadn't planned to do this video today, but I was surfing YouTube this morning and came across a video by the Havahart company where they were showing how to set a trap for squirrels. Number one, the trap was too small. You want at least a trap that's 24 by 7 by 7 for minimum for gray squirrels. Anything smaller is just going to be for chipmunks, ground squirrels, flying squirrels. Anything smaller is not going to work good on gray squirrels. So they make two that size, and some of these they don't make anymore, but I have a 1078, which they still make. This is a one-door model. Now if you see, I paint them, but you've got to wait several weeks after you paint them to use them. This is a 2A, which they don't make anymore. It's 30 by 7 by 7, and they still make this one. This back in the day used to be called a 2. It's 24 by 7 by 7, same size as the 1078. But that used to be called a 2, but sometime back in the 90s or something, they changed the designations, and that one's called a 632 now, but it does have an easy opening door where you don't have to put your hand on the door to let the animal out. So it's a little safer. But the new model is a 632 or the 1078. But anyway, I'm going to show you how to set these properly. Make sure the doors aren't hanging down so you can adjust the doors where they're level. I'm going to show you how you can adjust the rods, and I'm going to show you how to do the one-end set for bigger squirrels. There's two techniques for that. As far as how to set it, you can put a block. You need to put a block under the pan so they can go in farther so the door doesn't fall on their back. So I'm going to show you the settings, adjustments, and everything. Okay, so let's get busy and let's go to that. Okay guys, I'm going to show you how to set this. You've got these rods that lock the doors. You want these back, not there, you want them back. Push these down. Set that right there. Now you can make a little hair trigger. They're flat on each side. You can actually file those a little bit, but I wouldn't suggest doing that right away unless you get a lot of experience with. You can make this more of a hair trigger. Then you want to flip these back over. So now when an animal goes in, you've got bait in there, sets it off. That's all it is to it. Now if these rods get kind of sticky, you can take steel wool and smooth them out, make it a little finer, because this trap right here is probably 30 years old. But anyway, still works good. Now I'm going to show you how to do the one-end set. Okay guys, as this one's set up right now, it's set up to do the two-end set. And what I want to say is, when you do the flip these back over, when you do the two-end set, like I said, this trap right here is 24 inches by 7 by 7. When you do the two-end set, if you get a really big squirrel and he steps on this end of the pan, sometimes this door can land on its back, and then he can back out of the trap. So that's why you need to do the one-end set sometimes. And like I said, this is the smallest size I recommend for gray squirrels. Anything smaller is going to be for chipmunks, flying squirrels, red squirrels, but not your gray squirrels. But there's your two-end set that I just showed you on the other trap also how to do. But now I'm going to show you how to do the one-end set. So the one-end set, what you want to do is take this rod, and you can actually bend this rod out of the way so it's not in the way of that. It will pull up, and when you go back to setting the two-door set, you can actually hold the door and bend them back down. I've done that 1,000 times on these traps. It doesn't bother them. So what you want to do, take the straight rod, pull it up, put this down, hook the trigger like you normally would, Make sure this lock here is flipped over, this lock is flipped over. But the big thing about a 1-end set is you want to take a block of wood, this is 1.2 inches long, and put it under the pan right there. And I'll show you this. It may set off when I do this, but right there. Now what that block of wood does under the front side of the pan is a big squirrel, when he steps on this front end of the pan, come around this way, it doesn't set the trap off. What that does is a big squirrel, when he comes in on this end, when he sits, it doesn't set it off until he gets to the other side of the pan. So he has to get in farther. He's farther in the trap now. He's 3 or 4 inches farther in the trap. Sets it off. So that block of wood really helps on the 1-end set. Rod up high like that. Like I said, they're easily bendable back down. And another thing on the Havahart video, when they set theirs, you want these doors as high as you can get them without having pressure on these rods. And the Havahart one, I'm gonna bend them down and show you the video online. They were down like that. When a big squirrel comes in, he can hit that door and he can actually set it off if your doors are hanging. You don't want your doors hanging like that. So what you have to do, see how these are down now? You have to pull these back up. You have to pull them up a little bit. So now when I set it, they're back at the top. You definitely don't want those doors hanging. Just a little bit is fine, but the way they were on the Havahart video, that is no good. But that block of wood helps. Okay guys, so now I'll show you the number 1078 trap. That's the 1 door. And what I'll get, also what I failed to mention, I paint these. You don't want to paint these right before you set them. But if you're done trapping and you know you're not going to set them for a while, I spray paint them green, brown, camouflage them up some. Because if I set these out on my hunting club land or at the edge of my yard, they're not as conspicuous to the neighborhood kid, person walking through the woods or whatever, when they're bright, shiny, aluminum. But I do paint these. This one's been painted a long time ago. Some of the paint's come off. But after a couple of weeks, the smell does not bother the animals. But this is a 1078. This is a 1 door, spring-loaded front door. This is a really good squirrel trap as well. 24 inches by 7 by 7. Like I said, that's the smallest size you need for gray squirrels. I'm going to show you how to set this. Okay, everyone, I hope you can see this good. What you want to do, this is as a spring-loaded door. So you want to push it down. There's actually like a little finger thing right there. Pull it up. Now this rod right here has a little hook. It goes and catches the door right here. So what you want to do is just hook it. You can hook it all the way. You have to see the trap really good. You can just barely hook it. And that's it. And then put the bait in the back of the trap. Squirrel hits the pan. Got him. This is an awesome trap. I kind of really like it a little better than the double doors. I like the double door traps for, now don't get me wrong, the double door traps are good traps, but I kind of like this better for squirrels around the house. It's just simpler. But anyway, either one works well. Okay everyone, let's talk about bait and then we're going to end the video. Number 1 bait probably I use for squirrels is peanut butter on bread. Put about 1/4 of a slice in the back or on the pan. If you're using the 1-end set in the back, if you're using the 2-door set, put about 1/4 slice of bread, white bread, wheat bread, squirrels don't care, but bread. Put a little bit of peanut butter on it. Put it on the pan or in the back of the trap on the 1-door set. And you can tear off a little piece, put it in the entrance. You can also use peanuts. When I do peanuts, what you want to do is put, maybe 10 peanuts on the pan, in the shell preferably, and then maybe put a trail coming in and out on each side if you're doing the 2-door set. And while I mean a trail, I don't mean 10 or 20 of them. I just mean 3 or 4. Put one at the entrance, one a little farther in, and maybe one outside the entrance. But that's the bait to use. But guys, anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you got any tips on these Havahart traps. But remember, the smallest size you want to use for gray squirrels is 24 inches long, 7 wide, 7 tall. I hope you enjoyed it. Do me a favor, guys, hit the subscribe button. It's going to be right there. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.